Dear beloved friends of Church of the Servant, you probably recognise where I'm sitting. I'm at the roundabout in the outdoor parking lot at our Church of the Servant sanctuary. It's been a while since we've given you a midweek video update, and I thought I would just take a moment on this beautiful, crisp Friday morning to touch base with you all. Well, yesterday I was reading from Proverbs 19:21, and there was a verse that really caught me up short. It said this: we humans just keep brainstorming options and plans, but it's God's purpose that prevails. And it's so true, isn't it? We're in a season of brainstorming. We're making all kinds of adjustments to our lifestyles, making decisions about family life, about our businesses, about our children's education, brainstorming all the time. But it's God who doesn't change. God's purpose remains the same. And so I want to encourage you to think about the unchangeable character of God and how God's purpose will always prevail. And one of the qualities that's deeply embedded in the heart of who God is hospitality. God opened his arms wide to us to welcome us into his family. And that's part of the DNA of this building, of this congregation, of the priesthood of all believers. We want to be a hospitable people. You see it in how the sanctuary was put together, these wide open spaces to connect and welcome people in. And how do we do that when our building is largely closed? How do we keep on being hospitable? Well, as Christians, we firmly believe that one of the greatest acts of hospitality at this time is to worship together, but to stay distant. And so we encourage you to worship in the comfort of your own homes. We know the longing is to be together. We know the longing is to be in this building. The weather is getting colder and it's no longer possible to worship outdoors. But we continue to monitor the situation so closely along with our COVID team. They in turn are complying with local, state and federal order and guidelines regarding the ongoing pandemic. And we continue to brainstorm about how we can continue to provide worship, fellowship, discipleship, witness opportunities, making decisions always on all the variables involved, like numbers of people, function of the events, volunteers required. And so we simply encourage you to stay up to date as we deliver updates through our newsletters, bulletins, Facebook pages and other social media platforms. As we prepare for the next month of November and then on into Advent and Christmas, you'll hear many thoughts and ideas about how we can creatively be hospitable to one another as we continue to worship God. There are some exciting Advent opportunities coming up, and each week we will be giving you prompts and ideas of how you may connect creatively with members of the congregation. But for this moment, here's a thought that I want to leave with you. It comes from Psalm 37 verse 5. It says, "Commit your way to the Lord, trust in him, and he will do this." And that idea of committing your way to God, that verb committing is actually not a very good translation of the Hebrew word, because the Hebrew word paints a picture of a boulder, and I'm sitting here on this boulder right in the middle of the roundabout. And I want you to imagine that this boulder is all your anxieties, all the decisions that you've been struggling to make that weigh so heavily on you at the moment. And I want you to imagine pushing that boulder onto the pathway, and imagine that that road, like this road, is God, and God is able to hold the boulder of your concerns. Commit your way to the Lord, trust in him, and he will do this. So imagine this boulder today. It's not on your shoulders, but you're intentionally committing it, pushing it over to God's shoulders, and He will carry you through. May that give you peace today. May it give you an assurance that God's purpose will prevail in the midst of all these brainstorming days. May God keep you safe, and may God bless you.